Hello and welcome to the reading from Agastya, Purpose of Life, from the Sacred Discourses of Agastya Valipadu. Today, we are going to be talking about the final episode of Black Magic and the effects of Black Magic. And once we finish that, we had a question from one of our viewers last week about something that Brother Ramachandran had shared about how thoughts affect our body. So we will have a discussion on that. And even before that, we are also going to share a powerful mantra that Sage Agastya had given to ward off black magic. Okay. So the last two episodes, we talked about what black magic is. And it is not just about using some materials to, direct it against somebody, negative effects towards somebody, but the fact that thought is the basic power or force behind the whole process, behind that ritual of black magic, which is also called voodoo in Western countries. But wherever anybody practices it, it is the thought of the person and the intent which gives power to something negative like that. Now, how can a person protect himself against these effects? So Sage Agastya says, the person must develop spiritual growth and come under the umbrella of a guru or God. No wicked person, however strong he is, will dare touch an individual who is protected by his guru or God. Therefore, it is necessary to always keep your heart open to gods and gurus. Then another person who has the ability to counteract the action of the wicked person can also create a protective shield in the form of black threads and yantras. So what is Appa saying? Appa saying, do not be afraid. If you get into a protective shell of a god or a guru, then you will be protected from black magic. So he says, no black magician is more powerful than a god or a guru, which we already know, but which he's reinforcing in us so that we develop faith and we have that strong faith that nothing bad or negative can touch us when we are protected by the god or guru that we pray to. It doesn't matter which guru, it doesn't matter which god, but the divine has the power to protect us. So always, I would suggest this. If you think you're being subjected to negative thoughts by another person, pray to God. Ask them to put a golden shield around you with your mind. Just imagine a golden shield. Imagine that it is the God's or Guru's power that is protecting you. And that will protect you from anything that is directed towards you. So always take shelter in God or a guru, Appa says. He also says, another person who has the ability to counteract the action of the wicked person can create a protective shield in the form of black threads and yantras. So here again, the person who is going to help the person who's having issues can help this other person not only by directing his thoughts and power, through the thoughts, positive or shielding power through the thoughts, but he can also direct the power into black threads or yantras or anything that like an amulet or something that he can give that is blessed by the god to protect the person. So does the black thread by itself have any power? No, because anything which is just a simple item or a thing does not have power until power is directed into it. So the same way a black magician pours in his negative thoughts into some objects with the intent of harming somebody, the same way a powerful healer or a guru or god can counteract it. And a healer is usually somebody who takes the power or accepts or receives the power from god or guru and then counteracts it by you giving some kind of a shield to the person in form of a black thread, tying it around the wrist. That's what is done in many places in India. In addressing me, that is Anuradha, Sage Agastya said, My message is this: take refuge in your guru and do not ever think of this topic again. And I'll explain why he said that. Nobody can touch you when your thoughts are extraordinarily strong. These strong thoughts themselves form a shield around you. You're protected by your gurus, your mother's guru, and your Kula guru, which is Agastya himself. If you think that somebody is harming you, it shows your lack of faith in your gurus. Now, once again, throughout this entire discourse, Appa keeps talking about thoughts, because thoughts are energy, thoughts have power. And we must understand that we need to keep ourselves strong. Because even a person who does not believe in God and does not believe in ghosts cannot be affected by the ghosts or the spirits. That is what ghosts are, basically spirits, or any of these negative things, because they are very strong-willed, because their thoughts themselves form a shield around them. So remember, thoughts are very, very potent. So whatever you think, whatever you direct towards another person has an effect. And negative thoughts have negative effects. So if you have anger thoughts, then that is going to affect the other person. But when it affects the other person, then what happens to you? That karmic rebound is going to come back today or another day. So always try to forgive people, because forgiveness is one of the best shields against negativity or negative energy in this world. And always have good thoughts. Now, I want to explain another thing about thoughts. Like we talked about, thought is energy. So if you're constantly hating somebody, if you're constantly angry with somebody, you're actually creating a strong connection between you both. You're doing the very thing that you shouldn't be doing. Because every time you start thinking about that person, your thoughts are connecting to that person. And that person can feel it. And so the anger grows on both sides. So the most wisest thing to do in such cases is replace that with loving thoughts, with forgiveness, understanding that whatever's happening cannot touch you, because you're a soul. A soul cannot be touched by anything that happens around you. It is the ego or the manifested, the mind that is directing you, misdirecting you towards understanding or feeling that something is bad, something is good. For the soul, there is neither good or bad, because the soul is pure. It is the part of the Paramatman. And something that comes from the Paramatman, it is pure, whether it is in another person or it is in you. So as people walking on the spiritual path, one of the first things we have to begin to understand and do is stop judging people. Stop judging people. Stop becoming very sensitive. Try to let things go. Let these small things go, because ultimately you know that if you grow something in your mind with your anger, with your hatred, with your frustration, it's not going to stop. It's going to create a stronger link between you both. And if you believe in the fact that we do come back, we do have rebirth, then yes, you will actually meet the same person again in a future life, which means if there's a real strong bond between you both of hatred, then the chances are there would be somebody like your own child or your parent or your siblings, where you are bound to learn to love them no matter what happens. And that is the opportunity the soul gives itself to begin to understand and accept the other person in a future life. So do you want to wait and do that in a future life? Or do you want to start the process now and de-link all those little bonds? Because remember this, if you are walking on the spiritual path, and if you want to go towards liberation, these are all bonds that are going to tie you down to this earth plane. These are the bonds that will bring you back. Strong love, strong hate towards anybody will keep bringing you back. So how do you transmute this? How do you transmute strong love towards anybody? Make it unselfish love. Make it unconditional love. Begin to love everybody as another soul. Start looking at your husband, your wife, your children, and realize they are all souls that have taken birth in this life. And for some mutual karmic reasons, you're all together. And then when you do these things, when you start even looking at your coworkers, everybody that you interact with as souls, you will begin to stop letting your mind direct you towards anger and hate and frustration. It's a tall order, and I understand that because I live in this world and I've gone through all this and I still go through all that. But I do know that it is possible that we can do it one day at a time because we know the cause or what the effect is going to be. We know why we are doing what we are doing, and we know what the effect is going to be. So nullify it now. Then Appa says, feel a great vibration coming from your guru and rays radiating all around your body. And that is what I talked about, putting a shell around you. Imagine each ray is like a weapon. They will rebound any thoughts that attempt to strike you. So do not allow your mind and heart to dwell on this subject henceforth. Now, that's another important thing. If something happens to you and it is, because of a person, then if you disconnect your thoughts from that person, if you start deliberately trying not to think about the person, trying not to say, for example, you're both friends on Facebook, don't go and look at what the person is doing. If that person has hurt you, just ignore them. Let it go. You don't want to develop that bond and make it stronger and stronger and bring them back into your life. So let go slowly, one by one, and you will learn how to have peace in life. Then Appa says, so do not allow your mind and heart to dwell on the subject henceforth. You're always protected. Let the weakness in you be replaced by the strength of God. Now, why did he say this to me? Because a few months earlier than this, before Valipadu actually began in our family, I was that, I did undergo effects of black magic. And one of the first things that Appa did after he came into our family and started giving Valipadus, he helped me get rid of it. So what I'm going to read now is the message he gave me. And in that is a very powerful mantra that is supposed to help dispel black magic. It helped me. I am sharing that with you. And this has been sung beautifully by Dr. S. Mahesh Gurukal of Agastyam of Trivandrum, Kerala. And please, I will go ahead and add that video to the end of this video of this YouTube recording. And please do listen to that because it is beautifully rendered by him. And hopefully what I'm reading now will help somebody out there who's suffering from the effects of black magic. Anuradha was still undergoing some trouble owing to the effects of black magic targeted to her. Sage Agastya gave her a powerful mantra to get rid of the problem once for all on October 3rd, 2002. So Sage Agastya says, bowing to Armugan, bowing to Akilandeshwari, bowing to Adi Parashakti, I'll tell you, listen. You asked, why all this suffering? You asked for a solution to end the suffering. Everything that has happened is because of your own actions. Appa never minced words. He was very direct when he talked. He said, you did this to yourself. And we know that when we instigate something, it is because of that there is a reaction from the other person. And even the effect of black magic was because of what I had done, my mistake. So that is why the person reacted in hatred with the ultimate weapon, which is black magic. Then he says, to help the fire burn faster, you poured ghee into it. When the flames burst and crackled, you were unable to bear it. The reason I'm reading this is actually it's an English translation of a beautiful lyrical way Appa used to give these messages. In the original Tamil, it's beautiful, but I've tried my best to translate it to English. He says, he knew that I had done something to make the situation worse. And that's what he's explaining in this particular thing. Then he says, undergoing suffering, you're now bowing to the husband of Valli, which is Arumugan, Subramanya, hoping for a little solace. There is not enough devotion in your prayers. Appa very clearly tells me, oh, there's no devotion in your prayers, not enough. But I will be of support to you. I will conquer the enemy. Wait, but for a while. Pray to God to remove the black magic performed by others by its very roots. As the powerful spear dances, the younger brother of Vinayagan will come by himself. There is no worries. There is no room for worries. In this house where gods are present, to rip the bad spirits that are coming rapidly along with their roots, in the fire of the spear to pick and crush, chant the mantra that I give you daily. And this is the mantra. Om Velaayudhane, vegaamai vandhu, Ennaiyum, ennai soozndhorayum, kaapayaaga, Rakshamaam, Rakshamaam, Rakshamaam. It's just 3 lines. It says, oh, the holder of the spear, come quickly, come and protect me and those around me. And then it says, protect me, protect me, protect me. Now, remember this. Anything that is uttered with intent and feeling has power. When you pray to God and you pray to God with devotion, with a kind of devotion that brings tears to your eyes, know that God is bound to listen. God is bound to respond. Because what is created is an intense magnetic force by your very thoughts. Remember this. You can chant a mantra with your mind. You can chant it perfectly. You can chant it 1,008 times, but you could well be reciting the alphabetical words, or it could be mathematical tables or something like that. But if you say Appa once with pure devotion and love, he is there with you. Your God and Guru, you don't have to go anywhere. They are just a thought away. But that thought has to be pure. That thought has to be full of bhakti. And then the power or the blessing will come by itself, because that is the kind of energy thought has. Because when you have emotion, that emotion connects directly to your intuition and your soul. It has that kind of pure power behind it. So always when you pray, don't look at, hey, who's looking at me praying? Don't look at what kind of prayers you're doing, but pray with love, pray with devotion, and that has more power. Then he says, chant this mantra 6 times for 6 days with one mind, without thinking of anything else, and with discipline. On Friday, take some neem leaves and place them at the Divine Mother's feet and close your eyes and pray for a moment. So basically what he's doing is he's explaining how to go about this whole process. So what he asked me to do was keep a kalasham or a pot, a sacred urn with water in it, and keep mango leaves and neem leaves in it. And then on the 6th day to pray using the camphor, the arati. And this is the process. Taking the camphor incense, encircling it 3 times, take the neem leaves that you have encircled, which is dipped in water for 30 minutes, and sprinkle it around the house. All the suffering will run along with the bad spirit. So basically what you're doing is you're taking a kalasham, putting the neem leaves inside it. The mango leaves are at the bottom of the kalasham. And then you take the camphor and then with full intention, pray to Amma, the Divine Mother, and then circle the camphor 3 times clockwise, and then wait for 30 minutes and then take that neem leaves, because neem leaves have the power to ward off evil, and then sprinkle it around the house, and immediately the suffering and the bad spirits will run away. So you will put the kalasham in front of the god and keep it for 6 days. He had also asked me to keep a lemon at the bottom of the altar. So after 6 days, once I finished the prayers and after the neem leaves were, dipped in the water and sprinkled all over. I looked at the lemon. It was pitch black. It had not turned. It had not become stale. It hadn't dried up. It was as it was ripe, but pitch black because it had absorbed all the negative energy. And so we didn't touch it. We actually used a newspaper to put it around it, and we actually burnt it. You don't want to touch those things. You don't want it to touch anybody else. So you actually burn it. So this is not voodoo. This is not black magic. This is a ritual that was given by Appa Agastya to me, and which I'm sharing with you all. And it's okay if you don't believe it, and that's okay too. As long as you know that, as long as your thoughts are with God and Guru, as long as you have powerful thoughts, and as long as you continue to do good things, bad things cannot touch you in the future. What has happened in the previous lives or before, if you've done something bad, yes, that karmic effect you have to undergo. But let us try from now on, each day, not to do anything bad, not to direct any negative energy towards anybody. Then he says, when the light comes from the forehead of the mother and it stands in front of Velaayudhane, light will illuminate all over your home. And in just 9 days, good will increase. When good days are very close, why do you cry, daughter? So after those 6 days, things did change for me. And I did, after that, I have never had any effect of those negative energies because Appa's and my Guru's protection has always been there with me. And that is my own personal testimony. And I'm saying this out there very openly. So if you feel that you're being subjected to something, remember, you have the greatest shield in the divine. Your God and Guru, whoever it is, just pray to them and they will help you and they will protect you. Now, before we end the session today, there was a question from one of our viewers last week asking about how thoughts affect our body. And Brother Ramachandran was talking about it. Now, I request Brother Ramachandran to go ahead and talk about it, and then we will conclude this session. And next week, we will start on a different topic. Go ahead, Brother Ramachandran. I think you're muted. You need to unmute. So looks like Brother Ramachandran okay.
Yes. No,
go ahead. So you were explaining last week, brother, how thoughts affect parts of the body. So one of the viewers wanted to know more about it.
See, when we strongly think about somebody, there is a cord is formed from that person to the person we are thinking. Mostly the Manipura chakra or solar plexus is affected. So there is a cord is formed. So that other person gets affected if it is bad thoughts. And you have to remove the thoughts, as you said, with prayer or other ways. You can use pranic energy, prana energy in different forms, So we used to have a wand also, which emits pranic energy, prana violet healing wand. That if you using that, we can remove that. Otherwise, you can put yourself mentally. You can put this prana energy around you. Then our Reiki energy. So in Reiki, we have got one symbol called Chokure. So you can mentally put that symbol on 4 sides of your body. So this symbol actually protects you at least 24 hours completely around you. So that way also can be done. So what happens is this negative thoughts are always affecting others. So what happened? There was one great healer, Bruno Groening. So he was, when he sees, he can see the positive and negative thoughts of anybody. So one lady came, she has got this migraine, this thing and all this. He was just standing in front of her. 1 hour happened, nothing happened to her. Then suddenly she became all right. Then he told that I was waiting, that you will, you have a lot of doubt So that in a second, when it cleared, your doubt cleared, and there was a gap in your mind, I immediately healed you. So
So
that
this is,
way,
yes,
uh,
one
uh,
moment. This is a very important thing that Brother Ramachandran is saying. So he's brought up the topic that when you are requesting healing, whether it is from a Reiki healer or a pranic healer or from God or Guru, there should be no doubt in your mind. If you have doubt, nothing is going to help you. Nothing is going to work. So go ahead, Dr. Brother Ramachandran.
so this even in Reiki, Reiki is universal and Ki is life force energy. So when you pass the energy, so we have got a symbol to connect with the patient, another symbol to remove the obstacles, and the third symbol, chokure, to push the energy, and there is a master symbol. So now the other person, you are taking permission and passing, and supposing he has got a doubt on the Reiki or pranic energy, then the energy will go and stand in front of him, waiting for him to remove the doubt. Otherwise, it will take time to go inside and heal. So that,
Same thing, right? So,
so
what
that,
Brother Ramachandran is saying is very important here again. He's saying when something is directed and if it is very powerful, then it will, you know, remain in that area for a long time. So, imagine thought as something that is going, just imagine as anything, like a form going there, standing there. And the more you think about it, the more you're giving strength to that form. And when a person becomes weak, if you're sending negative thoughts, then it's going to affect them negatively. If a person is asking you for healing, but they have doubts in their mind, then the thought will remain there, and that energy that has been directed to you will wait until you finally get some faith and open up your mind, and that's when that energy can help you. Go ahead, Dr. Brother Ramchandran.
so like that, there was one Guru Jyotirmayanda, our Brahma Vidya mission, it's a Tibetan system. So he was full of positive energy. It was helping him so much. So when he leaves the energy, you can see that all the airs are standing in his hand. He will just show that all the energy is passing, and it is a positive pranic energy. And in the hand also, Om was formed naturally. So what happened was, every time he was protected by the positive energy. So when he was a young boy, he was not knowing one small this cow came and hit him. Just he doesn't know anything. He just said Chatupo, and immediately he died. He doesn't know. He also did not mean it, but as a boy, he just said that Chatupo died. Then, as he was working, he, after marriage, his child was crying. So the foreigner, he came and he was shouting, and his wife and all that. Then she told him afterwards that he is doing like that. Hey, don't worry, that this will take care. Within 10 days, that fellow died. It's not that he did anything, that pranic energy is doing, it is protecting like that
So,
automatically. So
yes. So,
it
what,
is a
brother?
very powerful, and he even pass the energy for a cancer and the patient having jaundice, and within few days jaundice help, and within a month he was cured of. And father was a bank manager. He was not supporting that, but then he realized. Then he kept our classes in his bank also. That is Brahmovidya mission. That is we are teaching Tibetan breaths, Tibetan healing breaths. So this is very powerful. This pranic energy. It will, if you go with that, it is 100% positive, and anything coming negative will automatically get burnt off completely. Like Agastya is 1000% is positive, and anybody coming will be swallowed in no time. So we know his history. We need not say that he's as good as God. So then we have got Mahavatar Babaji. His Kavacha Mantra is also there. That is Babaji's Kavacha Mantra. We have given also Kavacha Shield. That also can be used. So that will put a complete Kavacham or shield around you. And as you have given, that is very good. Velaayudhane. So
Yes,
our
that is there.
even
Yeah,
right, Lord Muruga is also our God. Babaji is also considered as the incarnation of this Muruga by Yogi Ramaya. He was telling like that. So he is very poor. So when you have got Muruga and Agastya, you need not worry.
that's
Thank you.
beautiful. And Appa also says in Valipadu that Hanuman has the power, and
Yes,
all
correct.
gods do. But each god has a specific energy that is more prominent in them, and with gods like Hanuman and Velaayudhane, I mean Murugan, the power to protect is stronger, and also Amman Shakti. Many aspects of
Yes,
Shakti has that power. But and if you're not a Hindu, know that it doesn't matter. It's even Christ has the power. So does any god that you believe in. Divinity doesn't have to have a name, but we give the name to divinity. So whatever it is, the important thing is have faith and know that you're being healed. I actually have to explain that when I went through had severe kidney stone, it was so bad that when I went to the doctor here, they had to give me morphine. Brother Ramachandran healed me. And after that, it didn't even have to pass out. It was just disintegrated because Ramachandran is a very powerful healer. So thank you, Brother Ramachandran, for explaining how thoughts affect body, thoughts affect other people. Thought can be transmitted to things. That is what we have heard or learned because of things like black magic. But thoughts can also be transferred to beautiful things like kumkum or the sacred water of from in front of a god. So everything is finally energy. If you can know that, if you can understand that, then life becomes much easier. So that's why I have explained this in the previous episode. If you're taking something that has been used by a person, especially if it is something like a gold, silver, or something that's been there for a long time, cleanse it, because these things can capture and hold power or the thought of that person who was wearing it. And if it is negative, then it will affect you, definitely affect you. So run it, hold it under running water or immerse it in salt if it's possible. It depends on the metal. I don't know much about metals. But either way, salt has the power to disintegrate bad energy. And that is one of the reasons they tell you to go take a bath in ocean. And also you can you use a salt water bath to take energy, remove negative energy from your body. But most of all, faith can protect you. So at the end of this video, I'm going to post the video of Dr. Mahesh singing that powerful for the 3-line chant of Velaayudhane's mantra. Hope this session has helped you all, and we will continue with a different topic next week. Thank you.